Hello. So I've been playing for 2 weeks now after a really long break. I think I almost didn't play for a year. And after 2 weeks of playing, I have some feedback on certain things I've noticed. First of all, with the living settlements and things that have been in the game for a long time that haven't been fixed. So I'm basically gonna give my feedback on the new system so they can have a look at it, and hopefully I can help them get rid of some problems. So the first thing I noticed was with this thrall pot here, I put it against the wall, against this block here, and all the NPCs, all my thralls basically, if they would get into this position that you see here, this guy, he would glitch into this foundation. And then another one, and another one, and another one, and they would stack up until almost all of them would be stuck in this foundation here. So I solved this problem by moving this thrall pot a little bit away from the wall, and now they don't get stuck anymore. But it shouldn't be like this, right? If the thrall pot is too close to a wall, it shouldn't harvest all these thralls into this foundation here where they can't do anything anymore after eating. Then the second thing I noticed was up... oh no, not up here. Yeah, I'm just gonna explain it here. So I had a dancer also right next to this foundation here, and the thralls that are walking around on in your base, they would also start getting stuck here in between the dancer and the foundation. Their pathing couldn't figure out that they had to retrace or take a different route to get past the dancer, who was sitting here, by the way. The other thing I noticed is that when the thralls go to sleep on a bed, in a closed off room. So originally my bed was here, and the thralls would teleport through the floor into this bed to rest. But then once they were done resting, they would stand here next to the bed and they wouldn't go anywhere. So this was also harvesting all the thralls into this one room. And I fixed that by placing my bedroll here and moving my bed up to my war room. The next thing I want to talk about are legendary weapons. So all my thralls right now, so if you look at, so all the thralls that are level 20, so basically all of them, because these are all golems, they're all carrying a legendary weapon. So that's a small 20 to 30 weapons I have collected. And then if we look at where are these weapons? Yes. So if we look at all these weapons here, they're all great. Yeah, they're all great. But if you play, especially the first 2 weeks, you are 99% of the time over encumbered. So you can only fight with the agility weapons. And the problem is, there's no guarantee for a specific weapon. Except for the Musashi's Black Blade and some others. But the reason I bring this up is if we go all the way up to the weapons I actually want to defend myself in a PvP situation. Like, you have to imagine, yeah, you're walking around on the map and you want to fight with these legendary weapons, but you can't use them because you can't repair them. So you need to keep these legendary weapons in boxes for that when the time comes and your base is under attack, you need these high-powered weapons to kill the enemy trying to steal everything from you. So the inability to repair legendary weapons, because they are not guaranteed when you find them, is a huge problem. It's so frustrating because you know you can do more damage when you're out farming, but you don't, because these weapons are finite. Yeah, they run out. If you use them for regular farming, they just run out. You can see it here too. I have a crafted katana, and then I have a backup legendary in case I meet somebody on the map and I actually need to do maximum damage to survive a confrontation with another player. So if we look in my war room here, let's see, where are all the good weapons? So these are all the good weapons I have collected that are viable for PvP. They're all agility weapons because I'm playing on a solo duo server, so going into a string build is completely useless. Yeah, if you go into a string build and you end up in a 1v1 or 1v2 and you can't pick up all his gear after you kill him, there's no point, right? He can just come back again and again and again. You need to get the weapons and the armor off the enemy players, otherwise he can just keep coming. So you can see after 2 weeks not using any legendary weapons, simply storing them as backup. If you look at this, I have I can die like 10 or 15 times now, and lose all my gear in a 2-hour raid, for example. But I will be able to be competitive. But in the past you could use these weapons for farming and simply repair them, and now I have to stockpile them. I have to stockpile them in a box, and I can't use them because if I use them, they run out, they break, and I do nothing else than farming these weapons all day. So there's no point in not being able to repair a legendary weapon. There's still a problem with the sorting system. So if we go down here, just grab some random stuff from a box. So right now it's set to no sorting, yeah? Maybe it will already happen. But I prefer playing with the filter heaviest first. The problem with this is if I try to dump something, you see, it doesn't want to go there because it's not in the right location. It looks on my screen like it's there, but it's not there, and I'll show you why I think that. If I set to no sorting and I drag them over each other, you see there are a whole bunch of other items repositioning themselves because they were not properly sorted when I changed the filter. You see, they don't go back. Set to heaviest first, then I set to no sorting. You see, and now these, and if I now double click it, it will go over. But the problem is you have to sort out your entire inventory like this, because you constantly have to switch between these filters. First for bulk to, in this case, quick stack. But if you have items that aren't in the box yet, let's say I picked up this somewhere, and I try to double click it in, I can't. So I have to set to no sorting, then I have to somehow reset it, and then I can double click it. But this is super frustrating. Yeah, I have to constantly change the filter, and in the past this was easier because it worked. And then there is another complaint. If I set it to heaviest first and I highlight a filter, you see these items, they stay in the lower part of a full inventory. In the past, if you would click on one of these filters, everything would line up. Everything that would be selected by highlighting this filter would all appear up here, nicely lined up. Because what's the point of using the filter? I still have to scroll down to hand pick it out. That's not how I want to operate, right? I want to do it like this. I can just double click it all in. So that's also immensely frustrating when you are playing the game, that these filters after a year still don't work properly. And I'll be honest, it has it really gives me this feeling of wanting to just quit playing, because it just doesn't work as it should be. As you can see also, thralls always seem to, after logging out and logging back in, or when the server restarts, I don't know when it happens, but every time I log back in the morning, all these thralls are in the ground. So it happens during a server restart when I'm not online, because when I am online and the server restarts and I immediately log back in, the thralls are not in the foundations. So it happens when you log out before a restart, then the restart happens, then another restart happens, and then you log back in. Then the thralls are in the ground. It's never without skipping a full restart timer. So let's say this server restarts every 4 hours. If I log out 1 hour before a restart and I log back in an hour after the second restart, then the thralls are in the foundations. And for some reason it doesn't. So on a ceiling it works perfectly. They're always in the right, they're always in position, and they always well, they never fall down or anything like this. So then I want to talk about the food. So Feast of Set, right? Everybody knows how hard it is to get it. If I eat one, look at my health bar in the top left. It's not doing anything. It has cost me so much time and effort. It is the best food, and it is the best healing for the food you can create, but it doesn't stack up to what it should be healing for the time and effort it took. If that doesn't, it makes sense, right? All you have to do is just play for 1 hour with this stuff in comparison to regular gruel, and it's simply not worth making. It's a super luxury product, but in a PvP situation, when you are low on HP and the fight is decided sometimes, often by just a few points of HP, players feel forced to make this, even though they don't find it rewarding, because the time and effort it costs to make this food is simply not worth it. It is worth it because the other person will make it too, but there's no reward other than having to have it. Yeah, I don't know how to explain this. It's obvious, right? It's too much effort for the amount of HP points it heals. But people are forced to make it because it's the only thing we have that can be used at the same time as a healing potion. So this food really needs to give more HP in a shorter amount of time. So I'm playing on a solo duo server where the gather rate is 10x, the experience is 10x. Troll conversion is set to almost instantly. And I still find it extremely frustrating and difficult to get any significant amount of thralls leveled up and geared up in a proper way. It literally took days to get all these fighters to level 20. And I'm playing on a 10x, yeah? I'm playing on a 10x experience. So I can level up one troll in 20 minutes to half an hour if I do nothing else other than leveling the troll. But nobody does that, right? Because there's so much other stuff to do. So I really believe that leveling a troll to level 20 should be on official servers 10 to 20 times faster than it is now. Like seriously, I have to work with these out of desperation. I have started making these golems, but they're so laggy and so buggy that nobody likes them. And they're also very easily killed with star metal weapons. So they're if they don't start attacking each other, I don't know if that problem is already fixed, but doesn't matter. Yeah, these golems are very laggy and very janky and buggy. They need to be worked on and fixed, because if you put a few together, they get very buggy and problematic. And then also I would like to talk about something else. That is the amount of stuff you need to do as a PvP player. So right now you might think, oh, he's set up great and he has a strong base and all that stuff, but it's been a non-stop work of labor for 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks to get this up and running. And remember, I'm playing on a 10x with 10x gather rate and 10x experience. If you would have to do this in single player, unofficial, where there's a bunch of people running around trying to kill you, trying to steal all your weapons and your tools and all that stuff, nobody wants to do this, yeah? That's why the servers are empty. It's too much work. And yes, I have built quite extensively, but you also have to know that I have more than 10,000 hours in Conan Exiles, yeah? So I'm very productive, I'm very experienced. I know all the recipes, I know all the... I never have to look on the map. I know this entire map like the back of my hand. Then also you can see all these boxes like there. The reason that they are built like this and they take up so much space is because the altars for the religions can't be placed closer together. I understand why this was in the past, when there was no bubble, when there was a god bubble, and you could basically, you would be able to queue up a second bubble right next to another one. But the god bubble days are over now, so having the ability to place these altars closer to each other. I'm not saying on top of each other, but at least a lot closer than they are now. Because I know it's possible to upgrade an altars. So if you would be able to place them right next to each other, you can use it as a roof. They're very cheap. They have huge amount of HP once they're upgraded, and they can be very powerful if you would be able to slap them right next to each other. But if there's 2 or 3 foundations in between altars, this is never a problem. And then people don't have to claim 2.5 grids to just get all the religions close to their base in an altar. If you look at me now, I have an encumbrance build, but the amount of stuff that I can pick up before I get over encumbered is ridiculously low. And this is extremely frustrating because, first of all, you roll a lot slower, making you very vulnerable against other players on the map. Second of all, you can't ride a horse. I've mentioned this before in other feedback videos. I think it should be possible to ride a horse over encumbered, but it should drain the stamina of the horse twice as fast, for example, or even 3 times as fast. But it should be possible to ride a horse when over encumbered, because it's your only way out if you meet a player that is specced into these top 3, you know. There are many content creators that have mentioned this before. It leads to a lot of frustration with everybody playing Conan Exiles in a PvP setting on official servers, and that is the Q-lock. This auto-aim Q-lock is so disgustingly overpowered, and it takes all the skill out of the game. Why is it still, after 6 years, being used on official PvP servers? It just doesn't make any sense. That in a skill-based PvP game, you are able to lock onto your target, close your eyes, and just click, click, like a complete idiot. Just call it what it is. Yeah, it's idiotic to have Q-lock on a PvP server. Then I want to talk about the raid times. So I've worked 2 weeks for this, yeah, 2 weeks to build all this, and I put in a lot of hours. You can see it. Yeah? I have farmed up. I have 11,000 building pieces, which isn't a lot at all. Yeah? It's not a lot at all. I know. When I was playing in 5 and 6 man clans, we would have 40,000 building pieces in one base, all within the rules. Yes. So this is a huge problem, because when official servers have 6 hours of raid time every day, 7 days a week. Now it's very easy for an enemy to keep track of the player list, and the moment I'm not online for 1 hour to protect my base, I lose everything. Because an experienced clan can get into any base. If a base is not defended actively by players, you can get into any base in less than an hour. If you are well prepared and you have experience and you have 2 or 3 friends helping you, you can drill into any base. Doesn't matter, even if it's a fucking sky base. all the way up in the sky, you can destroy any base in less than in an hour in Conan Exiles. If it's not defended, you can get in less than an hour. And that just doesn't make any sense. It took me 2 weeks to build this. I spent 100 hours trying to gather all these materials, and they can just drill in from the top straight into my production room and just destroy everything I have in less than an hour. So the first thing that needs to change is the HP of doors. The HP of doors needs to be exactly the same as the HP of a wall or a foundation. It just doesn't make any sense that a door. It defeats the whole purpose of having HP on anything else, because the door is the only way in and out, and there always has to be a door to get in and out of your base. There are ways to circumvent this, but you have to have a door somewhere to get in and out of your base. And then also, once you have all these doors, you can't keep them closed all the time. You have to open them like this. Because when you are playing, if you're doing a play session or 4 or 5 hours, you have literally opened 1,000 doors just from running in and out of your base, if you keep opening and closing these doors over and over and over again. So there really needs to be an alternative to a door. And the best thing I can come up with is from a mod called The Age of Calamitus. There Espen Johansson has made a door that can be walked through in one direction only. So it would block you going in like this, but if you try walking through it from this side, you would be able to walk out. So this would cut the amount of doors you have to open immediately by 50%. But I would even take it a step further, and make these doors recognize players, so that when the player arrives here, these one-way doors from the Age of Calamitus mod, they would work in 2 directions, so you don't have to open and close these doors all the time. And then of course they have to be the same HP as the surrounding structure, yeah? Because there's no point. This door has 25,000 HP and this foundation has 150,000, but it doesn't matter, because this is where the bomb will be. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I have 13 layers. So that should result in a small 1.5 million HP between me and my loot for the enemy. But if we just calculate the amount of HP in the doors, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But just, yeah, 10. So that's 250,000 HP to get inside. 1.5 million versus 250,000. Yeah. Anybody who has farmed Almeria for 3 hours, just picking up random bombs there, can go in here. So they spent 2 or 3 hours getting these bombs, and then when I'm not online, they can drill inside my base in less than half an hour, take everything I worked for that cost me more than 100 hours, and the guy who logged in went to level 16 in the afternoon, hanging around at Almeria, can just drill in here when I'm not online, and there's not a goddamn thing I can do about it to stop him. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And that's why nobody is playing Conan Exiles PvP anymore. It's too much work. The reward also, like the battering rams and all that stuff, that's great, yeah, that's really good, yeah. But we don't need more stuff to destroy other people. It's already proven that destroying somebody's game in Conan Exiles or ruining somebody's day in Conan Exiles, it's very easy to achieve. But protecting yourself or having the ability to take a day off during the week, like seriously guys, who can play 7 days a week, 6 hours a day? Nobody. Not even me. And I'm home all the time. Even I get fed up with that. I just change the raid times, mess around with these servers. You have thousands of servers that are completely empty. Why not make an official solo server, an official solo duo server, an official solo duo trio server? Then people don't have to go to these unofficial servers where it's first of all pay to win. Then it's admin and friends who get everything spawned in because they donated $5. And you might say, yeah, just donate $5. Yeah, sure. I'm not buying the game over and over and over again just to play it this doesn't make any sense, right? That I just have to keep spending money on something that's so obvious to fix. Just get these solo duo official servers and so on. Change the raid time. Like make a, I'll just give a simple example. Yeah, we'll just take an official server with a max of 40 people on it, and the maximum class size is 10 people. There should be an official server where there's raid time 6 hours a day on Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. So there's every time a day in between where these alpha clans can take a break from trying to destroy the servers, and the other players who have been destroyed, they don't have to go to another server. They get a day to recover, to rebuild, to get back into the game, to get competitive again. But right now that's not possible, because if you have a full-time job and you come home from work at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm just saying something, you have 2 hours. You can't eat, you can't do any dishes, you can't wash anything, you can't pay any bills, no, you can't do anything. You need those 2 hours to get ready before raid time. And then raid time starts 6 hours. You have to sit in your base holding a repair hammer and getting ready for the inevitable, because you know those big clans are gonna come for you again. They don't want to get destroyed themselves, so they're just going to try and dominate the entire server by pre-raiding sandstone bases, all that stuff. Yeah, they want to avoid gods being farmed in sandstone shacks next to Nook River, so they just go scorched earth on the server. And this shouldn't be right, because they can get entrenched and they will literally destroy the entire server and make, from the 40 players that were starting to play on this server, 20 quit forever. Yeah, they never come back, because they understand after a week of playing they can't compete. It's too much. They can't compete. It takes too much time, and the punishment for getting raided, well, not the punishment for getting raided, but the price you pay if you get raided is so massive that nobody wants to do this over and over and over again, unless you are completely insane like me. But I'm then also one of the last ones playing this game. So the raid times need to change. The different types of servers need to change. Like, there should be maximum 5-man class servers. And then well, you get the point, right? And then the last thing I want to talk about, well, it's probably not the last thing, but is Sipta. Why is nobody playing Sipta? Well, I'll explain to you in a very simple way. Yeah, there's no fast travel system. Sipta is massive, and everything of the map is very easy to navigate. And even with a horse, I've played on Sipta many times. In the first 2-3 days, you're like, oh yeah, this is so nice. I just ride my horse everywhere. But then when you get to end game content, you need specific things to be with you to go summon at altars or you name it. All these things take a huge amount of preparation and a huge amount of time investment. And then you ride out with your horse all the way there, and turns out you didn't bring enough health potions because you were too busy with all the other stuff, and you have to ride your horse all the way back. Yeah. And that is so frustrating, so infuriating that you just give up. So Sipta needs obelisks and a map room to teleport and transport. And you might say, oh, but we have the magic system. Yeah, the magic system is great for really short distances, but if you jump from one side to the other side of the map, you literally use almost the entire time getting rid of your corruption. You have to make this cleansing brew. You have to bring a bedroll to suicide, otherwise you have that debuff that is set on a fixed timer. I mean, the teleport system, the transportory stone is an amazing thing, but it's very niche. It can't be used to travel the entire. First of all, you would have to set up all these portals, and if you were at war with another clan, you can be damn sure they're just going to bomb that shit just to get rid of it. Yeah, just to annoy you, to make you waste time, to drain your resources, to make you less mobile. That's war. Yeah, you're playing PvP war. So these fast travel systems should come from the developer itself, so they can't be destroyed by rival clans. Yeah, I can talk about. There's a lot of good things too, yeah. But like, I really like how the settlements are live now. I really like how I can actually use. If I find a bladesmith, I can actually use that bladesmith now to go farm. They're not so rare anymore like they used to be. So it's a lot easier to get those. Also, you only need one bladesmith to occupy your tinker bench. So there's a really there's some serious time cut out of this grindy process, and keeping it challenging at the same time rewarding. I'm still happy when I find a bladesmith. It's not. But in the past, I was unhappy when I finally found a bladesmith or a shieldwright, because I had been farming it for 6 hours, and now that I finally got one, I knew I had to work 10 times harder to get that thrall behind the 10 or 15 layers wall to protect it. And it took so much effort to get a shield right to make the good armors that it was frustrating. So that is definitely a good adjustment that they did there. The shield rights and the bladesmiths are actually available instead of having to farm for them for 6 hours non-stop. Oh, there's one thing I forgot that I really like to talk about too. Where are they? Here. So you have the the pets, yeah. They should be a lot stronger. They should have more armor value, they should heal faster, and they should do a lot more damage. Yes. Like the Frost Giant Bodyguard, it's such an amazing, cool looking pet, and you can't use it. If you invest time in upgrading it, it's worthless. Yeah, it's so weak. There's no point, right, in having these at all. I just have them, hoping for a miracle update or something, but it's never happening. These pets need to be. They need work. Yeah, like let's say you get a greater tiger, then it should be possible to make armor for this tiger. Yeah, like star metal claws, a helmet, a chest piece, you name it. I know you guys are great with designing all these things. There should be some subtle changes to these pets, so they are upgradable. So pets actually become the same, as effective as having a fighter thrall. Like this guy is an absolute monster. Yeah, he has almost 2000 armor value. He's rocking the Hanuman's Gada. It's a 101 damage hammer with a 57% armor pen. I just put any pet against this, it will absolutely. He's just laughing his ass off while he's murdering a greater tiger. Yeah, there's nothing this tiger can do against this guy. And that needs to change. Yeah, these pets need a serious upgrade so they can be used, and there's more variety in things to use to defend your base. And then the problem with getting raided so easily, in my opinion, I think, is the amount of HP in the building pieces. If I was Funcom, I would double the amount of HP in all the building pieces, but at the same time I would also cap the amount of building pieces players can have. I think it's now a little bit above 50,000. It's way too much. Why? Nobody needs this. Even a 10-man clan can barely get to 30,000-40,000 building pieces. Going to 50,000 starts lagging the server so much. It's just unplayable. It becomes unplayable. So why not double the amount of HP in the building pieces in all tiers? Like Sandstone, it should have 30 or 40,000 HP, so it's actually discouraging large clans for going after these small guys. This Sandstone should be really strong in comparison to all the rest, because you need to give that solo player or that new player coming into the game the opportunity to prove himself. If one bomb destroys entire base, how can he defend something that isn't there, right? So this is, and I would cap, and then also there's something else, the followers. So I'm a single player, a solo player, and I have the ability to get 55 thralls. But if I add a clan member, I can all of a sudden have 70 thralls. We are twice as strong as a solo player, and we can have more thralls than a solo player. It just doesn't make any sense. I would suggest to give a solo player the ability to have 80 thralls, and if he adds a second player into his clan, it should get reduced. A 2-man clan should have only the ability to train up 50 thralls. A 3-man clan, 30 thralls. A 5-man clan, as soon as you have a 5-man clan, you should only be able to have 2 thralls or 3 thralls per person and a horse. Yeah, there's so like 30 or 40 thralls at max. And if you're a 10-man clan, you can have a horse and 1 thrall. Yeah, because it's a 20-man army, 10 players, then a thrall, and they're all rocking the best legendaries you can find, the best armor you can find, and yeah, they all work together. Yeah. There's another thing: friendly fire. Let's say I go to an official server and I'm playing there as a solo or a duo. We just bought the game, we don't know anything. And all of a sudden this 4-man clan shows up. They all 4 have 2 thralls following them. They don't need to respect a 2-man clan. Yeah, they don't need to respect them, because when they all pile on top of one player, they do so little damage to their teammates that they don't have to respect the enemy or their teammates. They can just go full ham on that. It just doesn't make any sense. If I swing a sword at my friend, it's gonna cut his head off just as easily as it would cut off an enemy's head. So why this fruitcake solution? This fruitcake shit show of players who are in the same clan doing less damage to each other than they do to enemy players. What? It just doesn't make any sense. So this really needs to be turned off. Yeah. So 2-man clans who are very experienced and work well together don't get overwhelmed by a Zerg clan just because they have more numbers. They don't have the skill. They're just bulking. And it doesn't make any sense to have team damage lower in comparison to team damage, in comparison to damage to enemies. You just can't compete, yeah? And that's why nobody is playing Conan Exiles anymore. Just think about it. You buy the game from Steam, yeah. You don't know anything about Conan Exiles, but you saw a Seronestes video or a Zelonowski's video about Conan Exiles, and you're like, holy fuck, man, this game looks great. There's a lot of stuff to it, a lot of things to learn, and so you log into an official PvP server as a solo. How are you going to make friends there? Because all you're going to be doing is getting murdered and raided over and over again for weeks on end. You have no idea what you're doing. Nobody wants to play with you because you ask a bunch of stupid questions all the time. So why is there not a solo server? Why is there not an official server where solo players can dip their toes in the water playing PvP? Where they can have at least some success or at least have a fair fight. It's 1 versus 1 on a solo, and if 2 solos team up, they do the same amount of damage to each other than they do to the enemy. That's the power of the solo server, yeah, where you get a fair fight, and where roaming Zerg clans aren't just dominating the entire server. And then if you have been fighting as a solo on this solo server, and people respect you for being there and being a tough guy and getting raided by another solo, or having these mutual fights that last for hours, you can actually make a friend. Yeah, how many times do the gloves come off after a fight and the fighters hug each other because they have shown mutual respect after beating the shit out of each other? They have shown mutual respect to, all right, you're a real man, dude. You're a real man. We had a really rough fight, and we said things we regret now, but you are now my friend because I respect you. And that's something that can't happen on an official server at the moment, because everybody is being dominated and divided by the top clan. Everybody's sucking up. If you don't suck up to the top clan, you're done. Yeah, you just get singled out and completely crushed. And that's why we need the official solo servers. And I know you're gonna make this argument, yeah, you can go to a private server there. No, nobody wants to play on private servers. It's admin and friends who get everything spawned in, and then you have a donation link, and you can buy everything, and the rules get changed mid wipe, or you are 2 weeks late into the wipe and you are completely underpowered, and everybody's so bored they have nothing else to do than to pick on anything that moves on the map, because everybody's locked in their base, and the only ones who are still running around are the ones who are too late to get into the wipe. It's a horrendous experience playing private servers, because instead of having to deal with cheaters, one or two cheaters every couple of days, you're dealing with an entire admin team and friends that they have unlimited access to anything they want. They can even shadow nerf your weapons and whatever, you know how it is. Nobody wants that, man. Nobody wants it. If you compare this to Rust, let's say but on a Rust server there's 300 or 400 people playing. So a 5-man clan with 2 other friendly clans working together doesn't affect anybody. Yeah, it's a drop on a hot plate. And because there are 300 or 400 players on that server, there are several other clans teamed up with each other, ready to try and knock each other out. And if you then, as a 5 or a 6-man clan, roam the map, you can leave those singles alone, because they're not worth your time. But in Conan Exiles it's different. Everybody is potentially dangerous. Even a solo can be extremely dangerous with a god. So the amount of damage that can be done to a base in an extremely short amount of time is, in my opinion, the biggest problem in Conan Exiles. But it should be a lot harder to raid somebody. It shouldn't be impossible like it was in the past by simply holding up a god bubble. But now you can just fly anywhere. You can fly anywhere, you can climb anywhere, so it doesn't matter where you build anymore, because they can get to it anyways. And if you're not online defending it, you lose everything. You lose weeks of work in just a unsatisfying 1 hour you had to go for dinner, or you had to stay longer at work, and you miss out on 2 hours on your raid window in a 40-hour raid window on a week, and everything is gone. You just have to start from zero again, and that's not okay. That it's just not fun to play like this. Anyways, I'm gonna end it here. I think I've said already a lot of things that can be fixed very easily and can bring this game back from the brink of simply dying. Yeah, because let's be honest, Conan Exiles is it's in intensive care. Let's just say it like that. Being monitored 24/7. If nothing changes drastically in the next year, forget it. It's over for PvP, Conan Exiles PvP. There's like 10 or 15 people on a no, not 10 or 15, let's say 100 people playing. I mean, what the fuck? There's 100 people playing during the week, and in the weekend it's only on Saturday evening, because on Friday is probably the worst day. People are just too tired from working all week, and then they have to grind another 4 or 5 hours in a game just to put some bombs on somebody's base. Nobody wants to play this, man. It's too much work. Needs to be a lot harder to destroy somebody's base and stuff. Anyways, I hope they do something about it.